Have you ever wondered how populism, a political approach that strives to appeal to ordinary people, has shaped the American political landscape? This question has piqued the interest of many, prompting an exploration into the depths of populism, its origins, and its role in politics. Populism, in its simplest form, champions the common person, often standing against the established elites and institutions. It's a concept that has been around for centuries, but its influence has been particularly notable in the United States. From the inception of the nation to the shifting tides of the 20th century, up to the present day, populism has weaved its way through the fabric of American politics, shaping the nation's course. In this video, we'll delve into the fascinating journey of populism, tracing its roots and examining its influence on American politics over time. Buckle up for an enlightening exploration of history and politics. The rise of populism is a fascinating journey, one that has significantly impacted the political dynamics in the United States. Populism has roots that stretch back over centuries, but its impact on American politics has been most pronounced in the last few decades. To truly understand the rise of populism, we need to journey back to the 19th century. It was then that populism first emerged as a political force in the American landscape. The People's Party, also known as the Populist Party, was founded in 1891, championing the cause of the common man against the economic and political elites of the time. Fast forward to the early 20th century, we see the emergence of progressive populism, epitomized by figures like Theodore Roosevelt and his Progressive Party. They advocated for social reforms and regulatory measures to check the power of corporations, resonating with the populist ethos of standing up for the little guy. The Great Depression in the 30s further fueled populist sentiments, leading to the New Deal under Franklin D. Roosevelt. The New Deal, with its massive public works projects and social welfare programs, was a direct response to the economic hardship faced by millions, and a testament to the power of populist politics. The latter half of the 20th century saw the rise of conservative populism. Figures like George Wallace and Barry Goldwater tapped into the discontentment of many Americans, articulating a populist message that resonated with a significant portion of the electorate. In the 21st century, populism has continued to shape American politics. The Tea Party movement, Occupy Wall Street, and the candidacies of Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump have all demonstrated the enduring appeal of populist messages, whether from the right or the left. These movements and figures have all contributed to the rise of populism in the United States, tapping into deep-seated frustrations and fears while offering hope for a more equitable and just society. They've challenged the status quo, rallied the masses, and in many ways, redefined the political landscape. As we can see, populism has been a recurring theme in American politics, shaping the discourse and direction of various political movements. The rise of populism has had a profound impact on American politics, influencing everything from policy decisions to election outcomes. Let's dive deep into some specific examples of how populism has shaped the political landscape of the United States. Populism, by its very nature, seeks to prioritize the concerns of ordinary people. This has led to a shift in political focus towards issues that resonate with the masses, such as healthcare, income inequality, and immigration. One of the most significant policy changes influenced by populist rhetoric is the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare. This legislation, aimed at making healthcare more accessible and affordable for all Americans, was a direct response to the public outcry over the state of healthcare in the country. It was driven by a populist sentiment that everyone deserves access to quality healthcare, regardless of their financial status. Another key area where we can see the influence of populism is in the realm of economic policy. The push for a higher minimum wage, for instance, has gained traction in recent years, fueled by the belief that hardworking Americans should be able to earn a living wage. This populist demand has led to several states and cities across the country raising their minimum wages in an attempt to address income inequality. Populism has also played a significant role in shaping the outcomes of elections. The presidential election of 2016 is an excellent example of this. The rhetoric of the campaign was steeped in populist sentiment, with candidates promising to address the concerns of ordinary Americans and take on the political establishment. The results of the election were a clear indication of the popularity of these populist promises. Moreover, populism has significantly influenced political discourse in the United States. the language of politics has become more focused on the people versus the elite, a common theme in populist rhetoric. This has led to a more polarized political climate, with a heightened emphasis on identity politics and a perceived divide between the common people and the establishment. Populism has also spurred changes in the way politicians communicate with their constituents. We've seen a shift away from traditional media outlets towards social media platforms, where politicians can speak directly to the public. This mirrors the populist ideal of breaking down barriers between the people and their representatives. These are just a few examples of how populism has influenced American politics. From policy changes to election results, to the very language of political discourse, the impact of populism is far-reaching. The rise of this political philosophy has led to a re-evaluation of what it means to be a representative in a democratic society, with an increased focus on the needs and concerns of the everyday citizen. The influence of populism is undeniable, permeating all aspects of American politics and reshaping the political landscape. The rise of populism has left an indelible mark on American politics, but what does the future hold for this political phenomenon? As we peer into the crystal ball of the future, the trajectory of populism in American politics appears to be influenced by several factors. One of these is the prevailing political climate. The recent years have seen a surge in populist sentiments, fueled by socioeconomic disparities and a growing disillusionment with the traditional political establishment. This trend may continue to shape the course of American politics, particularly if these underlying issues remain unaddressed. Moreover, the digital age has transformed the means and speed of political communication. Social media platforms and online forums have become hotbeds for populist discourse, allowing messages to spread rapidly and widely. This digital populism is likely to grow in the future, further influencing the political landscape. Yet the future of populism is not set in stone. It's a dynamic and evolving phenomenon. In response to the populist wave, we might see a counter-movement from the political center, aiming to restore balance and stability. Such a pushback could either temper or intensify populist tendencies, depending on the political climate and public sentiment. Regardless of the direction populism takes, its implications for American politics are significant. The populist narrative, with its emphasis on the will of the common people, could continue to challenge the status quo, influencing policy directions and election outcomes. It could also drive further political polarization, as different factions vie for the voice of the people. On the other hand, the rise of populism could also spur a re-evaluation of the existing political system, prompting reforms aimed at greater inclusivity and representation. This could lead to a more participatory democracy, where the interests of the many are not overshadowed by the few. While the future of populism remains uncertain, its impact on American politics is likely to continue to be felt for years to come. As we've seen, populism has played a significant role in shaping the American political landscape. This potent political force, rooted in the belief that the general will of the people should hold sway, has ebbed and flowed throughout our nation's history, leaving an indelible mark on our society. Populism, as we've discussed, is not a new phenomenon. It has its roots in the late 19th century, when farmers and workers united against what they perceived as the unchecked power of big businesses and corrupt elites. This People's Party, as it was known, was the first significant populist movement in the United States, setting a precedent for future populist waves. Fast forward to the 21st century, and we see populism resurfacing in a big way. This reemergence has been marked by an increasing distrust in institutions, a growing divide between the elite and the common man, and a rising sentiment that the system is rigged against the average citizen. This has resulted in a shift in the political landscape, with populist candidates gaining traction and populist policies finding favor among a sizable portion of the electorate. But what does the future hold? If current trends are any indication, populism is here to stay. The sentiments that fuel it, dissatisfaction with the status quo, a sense of disenfranchisement, and a desire for change, are unlikely to dissipate overnight. As such, we can expect populism to continue influencing American politics, perhaps in ways we can't yet foresee. In conclusion, populism, with its emphasis on the will of the people, has undeniably left its mark on American politics. It has shaped our political discourse, shifted the balance of power, and spurred movements that have changed the course of history. Regardless of where one stands on the political spectrum, the influence of populism can't be ignored. The rise of populism has undeniably changed the face of American politics. How it will continue to shape the political landscape, only time will tell.